good evening or good afternoon. I have no idea what time you're watching this, but today is January 1, 2024. I want to wish everybody a happy new year, a fresh new start on the calendar. But a lot of people are still going to be carrying that old baggage from years past, especially when it comes to trading. And this is why I wanted to try and kind of get a double whammy, I guess you could say, from that video that I posted out last year, which I'll get to in a minute. In any case, for those of you who do not know, I am Tim Richards. My pronouns are I, me, and cassette tape. That's what I identify as. And my options trading club, don't necessarily have a timeline on this. I'll look back on it, but this, as it says here, seasoned trader, 27 years. This is now my 28th year of trading. And this is my 13th year of doing these, basically what I do. And some people call me the pivot master. Some people call me Yoda. Uh, I kind of need someone's help to revamp this website because these kind of technical shiny objects, I'm not good at those things. I'm good at charts. I'm good at finding good stocks to trade, good options to trade. Tim Richards, Pivot Master, 27 years. It's 28 now. This is my eighth year, seventh year that we are going to be doing this since I started 32 Trades. Uh, I originally started back in 2012. Give you a little history. Being over here, I'm living on the beach. I'm literally bringing a laptop into the bar with me, nightclub at night, to go trade. I'm doing 10 minutes, 15 minutes worth of trading, closing the laptop and, sitting there drinking. And I found it where, it's time that I needed to change. And I asked an old partner of mine, in fact, partner of mine, which we are taking Glacier public in a couple of months. What can we do? And his idea was, man, penny stocks are really hot right now. You used to be a CPA before you were a broker. Why not go in there and start doing research on penny stocks? So we launched this website called Aim High Profits, aimhighprofits.com. We were actually on CNBC for one of the stocks that I picked. And the video is no longer there on CNBC, but I definitely remember getting the phone calls when that took place. But like here, for example, Celsius Holdings, a lot of you guys know this very well. This is an article I wrote back on May 12th. And as you can see, even back then, my artisticness is, not fantastic. But yeah, back on May 12th, May 16th, 2012, I'm writing there about, yeah, great stock. I've done good research on this. Everything looks good. There were a couple other ones out there that, as far as energy drinks, it looked great. And yeah, trading there at 30 cents, opened at 30, closed at 37 cents, 21% gain. And again, you being a trader, which you are, if you can get a 21% gain in a day, it's absolutely fantastic. And that's kind of the reason why you're watching this video. So cut to the chase. Celsius Holdings. They had a stock split recently, so that 37 cents is now 12 cents. But nope, I didn't catch the bottom. I right there dipped down a little bit a year later, down to around half price, down 50%. And as you see there, up 55,820%. Now, granted, we're talking about 12 years, but I personally still own 10 shares that I originally bought back at 37 cents, just to remind me you should let your investments grow. And kind of brings us all into where we are. So in any case, in 2016, I decided that I was going to launch 32 Trades. And the audience that I brought over with me were penny stock traders. The whole idea was I will teach you how to trade options, but by doing it, or I will teach you how to trade penny stocks, those kind of profits that we get, but by doing options, trading penny options, Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon. One day trade, $7,500 profit. Another one, 750 puts, 365 to 9,600, just in the course of a couple of hours. And that was the audience that came over when we started 32 Trades. So what I did was, okay, you guys are penny stock traders, you're heavy gamblers, you're going for these big, humongous numbers. Let me show you the program that I learned when I was a broker that we used to trade our clients with, but I've adapted it. I've adapted it because options, you can make a lot more money than you can trading stocks, and it is called the 32 Trade program. Whereas there's a description here which you can read through, and it's just very, you know, innocent the way it describes what it is. But your essentialness is you are taking $1,000. That's it. All your risk is $1,000. And again, the mentality behind this was because these traders had no discipline. In order to become consistent, you need discipline. In order to have discipline, you need to be consistent. And that's what this program provides for you is you start out with $1,000. So that's your maximum risk, nothing more than that. You're looking for a 30% gain on your trade, 30%, take a couple of pennies off, dollars off for your, trading fees. You're looking at around a $280 profit. So then you're taking that profit and that initial $1,000 and you're going into the next trade with it and you are compounding. Exactly the same thing that brought in this audience that I now have, which I'm so appreciative of because they're actually adults. No more of these Robin Hooders and guys with only $600 in their account talking about, I can't do $1,000 trade. Can I just do one contract? Though it's a hell of a responsibility trying to give someone guidance that doesn't have enough money to buy groceries. But I made this video, how to make $1 million using $500, from $500 using SPX credit spreads. And last year was pretty damn phenomenal. 2023, the year of the pronouns, it's over. 29 times our safe edges on the upside were broken out of 250 trading sessions. 20 times we closed above the safe edge. 28 times the lower edge was broken. 17 of those times the lower edge was closed below. Now, we had 52 plus 1% days, 44 minus 1% days. But as you can kind of see here, just scrolling and looking at what we've got here in the recent weeks, like there, end of the day there on Friday, 29th. It's evolved back into that greedy penny stock mentality where, even for me as well, where I'm talking about trading the 4785, 4780 calls. We're trading up into 4780s and you're getting $3 credit on a $2 risk. Closed below it, you're making 150%. So after I went through that, and as I was getting ready for this, I actually started to think, you could do this 32 trade program doing credit spreads. And you really could do this doing credit spreads. 30%. I mean, we see 30% fucking almost daily. You really could do this doing credit spreads, but that's not what it's about. So anyway, you're taking $1,000, looking for a 30% gain, taking that profit and that original $1,000 and moving into the next trade. And essentially, when you've gotten to trade number 10, you're doing a $10,000 trade. You're looking at 30%, you're making $3,000 on the trade. Now, everybody's got a boat. Everybody. Some people have yachts. Some people have Boston whalers. Some people have jet skis. They want that excitement out on the water. Some people have a canoe. There's a couple of people out there that have boats that are actually sinking, but everybody's in the water. So it's not a program that judges what kind of vessel that you're floating in the water with. And as Albert Einstein actually said, the safest place for a boat is when it's at shore, but that's not what it was built for. And the point I'm trying to make with this is I've got now multiple multi-million dollar accounts that are members in the group that still struggle doing trades more than 5 grand, more than 10 grand. And that's where this program kicks in. $1,000 you're starting out with, 30% gain, $280 profit, call it. Taking that, moving into the next trade. Let's say your $1,000 trade that you start out with on trade number one goes, where is it? Where was it from the other day? I don't even remember. Anyway, we'll skip to that part. So let's say your $1,000 trade goes 300%. Fantastic. Take the extra money, put it in your pocket, go do something, be generous to a stranger. The next trade you're going into with your set amount. You're trading $1,280 more or less onto the next trade and looking for your 30% and compounding it. Get to trade 18. You're doing an $80,000 trade. Now, trade number 10, you're doing a $10,000 trade. Trade number 18, you're doing an $80,000 trade. You're getting 25 grand profit and you're breaking above 100 grand on top of that. You get down to trade number 24, you're doing a $390,000 trade. You're making $116,000 in profit. Now you got a $500,000 account, 24 trades, and you started out with $1,000. And you get over here to trade number 27, which has been my personal problem, getting past trade 27 when I've done this. And I've done this multiple years over and over and over again in a much different fashion than what I'll explain to you here in a minute. But here you're doing an $856,000 trade. You're looking for $250,000 or more in profit, and you're breaking that $1,000 level up to over $1 million account. Get to trade 32. You're doing a $3.2 million trade, which many of you have seen me share in the alert room of these massive multi-million dollar trades. So don't give me the question that came to me a long time ago where somebody asked me, where am I supposed to find a trade where I can get into trade 28 and I need to put 1.13 million into something? The clear answer, like I wrote there and I have on the page, is it's a good problem to have. It's a hell of a lot better than the problems that you got right now. So let me explain how I do it, and I'll explain how I think it fits best for most people who are not me. Most people who are not able to walk away, shut off the internet, and never turn the internet on again for the rest of their life. That's where I am in my life. For me, I want that I go with $1,000 to start out with, and I go through 1, 2, 20, 21, 25, 30, 31, 32, start to finish with zero mistakes, zero stop losses, 32 times. That's me. I've made it to 27. I made it to 29 one time. I've made it to 27 twice. I've made it to 24 a couple of times. I've always struggled in that mentality that I have, like I say, because I know me, I know that I'm doing this with $1,000. So if I was an individual and I was going to use this, and this is the way that I would use it, and this is the way that I've explained it to many of you, is Trade number one, got to have it. Trade number two, pretty much got to have it as well. But once you get into trade number three, trade number four, trade number five, now things start to get really easy because number one, you get to trade number four, you have doubled your account. 1, 2, 3, 3 trades, you've doubled your account from $1,000 to $2,000. You should start building confidence about how your trading is evolving, how you are starting to develop both consistency and a little bit of respect for letting the trades come to you. So I get up to trade number five. I'm using this as being a regular individual. 2,732.48 is what I'm putting into the trade. My stop loss, if I'm going to be tight, is going to be trade number four. 21.17.28. So if my trade in value drops down to this level, I would stop out of the trade and do trade number four over again. Now, if I had a little bit more, how would you say, the luxury of consistency, in meaning that I've traded for a long time, I know what, how things need. I've got a trade that's on, which I've got plenty of time on it. I'm not running into the expiration date. You may want to go with two trades. So you're starting out with 2,700 in trade number five. You're using trade number three as your stop loss. It's not as complicated as people want to make it. And it's not bullshit either, because you can get through this 18, 20, 23, 24 relatively easy. Where it becomes a problem, it really does, is when you're trying to force feed a trade because you've got such good momentum going. Because, like, for example, here, I talked about this for many days going into the end of the year. Sent out this email. When was this? On Wednesday. 2024, I'm going to refocus on the 32 trade plan. Here's the link. So I have my SQ plus 80 alarm has been triggered. This was, when was this? Don't even have the date here correctly. December 28th, 9:47 in the morning is on the chart here. That's when this went out. January 19th, 80 puts, 325. Now, there are a couple things in this email that I need to put in there. I need to put in where your plus 30% level is. And there was one other thing because we also, like I said, you could do this doing spreads. We included in there a spread that you could do on this if you wanted to go out that far to January 19th. Now, on that discussion alone, we were out of our trade the very next day. 32 trades SQ, plus 30% target reached. Boom, boom, bam, bam, 425, got your 30%. 1 day later, already done with the first trade. Now, if you were doing this with a credit spread on SQ using that January 19th, granted, you only needed to drop down to 27 cents to get your 30%. You may not be able to get that because of the increased volatility, and therefore you're going to be stuck in this trade a little bit longer doing it via a credit spread. However, take the 32 trade program out of the picture, doing this via a credit spread where you are getting 44 cents, 56 cents risk, 75% full credit. Who in the hell isn't fucking happy with a 75% return? And that's the whole point about this, because again, the audience that I had prior to starting 32 trades were all penny stock guys. When I got into 32 trades, it was still penny stock guys that wanted that 9,000%, 8,000% trade. And when I didn't give them 8,000%, it was only 1,000%, they were upset. So we're going back. We're going back into reality. And while we are, without any shadow of a doubt, going to continue on with credit spreads every single day, we are going to continue on with our zero DTE trades every single day. SPX SPY, QQQ, IWM, bread and butter every single day. We are going to adapt and put into the program this year a dedicated and focused, like you see here on the emails that went out, of 32 trade plan idea. And these trades will most of the time go out 1, possibly 2 days prior to the trade actually being set up. I've got a group of 40, 50 favorite stocks with very liquid options where you can do a 30, 40, $50,000 trade on them. And when those hit, and they hit triggers, because again, you might be in a sinking boat, you might be in a canoe, and you might only be doing $1,000 trade. There might be somebody else who's in a yacht and a jet ski who's already on trade number 12, trade number 15, and they're doing a $20,000 trade. Same stock, same amount, same percentage. This is a program that fits for everybody. What doesn't fit is when you're trying to sit there and force feed yourself into trades because the market's open. So I've got one reminder to leave you with today. A year ago, there were a lot of people talking about 2023 stock market predictions. Some were right, some were wrong. The most important thing about that is the 2024 trading season begins tomorrow. The point being, the stock market was open 250 times last year. It will be open 250 times this year. And it will be open another 250 times in 2025. There's no need to rush through this. You do the math. Like I said, I do think that you could do this doing SPX spreads. And doing 32, you're going to have a hard time doing a $3 million trade on a 0 DTE. But I do think that you could do this doing SPX spreads. Doing it the way that it was created to do and the way that it was intended to do by trading just individual options, do the math. 250 divided by 32. You're talking about taking on a trade every 8 trading sessions. Come on board, guys. I'm a little worried about all the money that people are going to be making in the course of this year of 2024, that things are going to get a little bit out of hand. But trust me when I tell you, the amount of money that you make, all it does is emphasize the things that you can do in your life to put smiles on other people's faces. Happy New Year. Get ready for 2024. And let's make some fucking money.